Okay, I am here. Yes, in case you think I'm not, this is me. Yes, I am. Just pinch yourself. You're not dreaming. I am here and I am live streaming. So if you're here, hello. Welcome back to Deja Vu. Um, I am going to read some previously pulled cards that were meant for this channel at this time tonight. And I used several different decks, and I don't know if anyone's going to pop in or not. I only have one machine to look at, so if I lose sight of anyone, I may have to... I might see if my other machine will work. It might by that time. But I'm going to try and get the reading done. The cards I have, and then I need to do some tarot to clarify. But I just read it Lucky Girl, and so if anybody popped in, thank you so much. This is for 18 and over, by the way. Everything is allegedly. I am not AI. Yes, I have a black screen. This is me. It's staying a black screen. But I am me and I'm real. We have directed energy weapon. Now, I don't think that's just me that is receiving that. It is happening to others, I think. That was for me, but Nine of Swords, somebody out here is not getting very much sleep. And they may really want sleep, and it could be that there is a directed energy weapon pointed at them. You could as well be, like myself, a person who's a reader. I have High Priestess here too. You could be somebody who's very intuitive and gifted. And I had two different decks throw out at me. It felt personal, but it doesn't have to be just me, because I am a TI, but I might acquire or interest or attract other TIs to the channel. So you could be as well somebody that's caught notice of, say, secret society, secret groups. I had two different decks bring them out, and I also got gift. So they want you for your gift. They want to steal your gift. They want to usurp your gift, use it, tweak it, take it, wear it for themselves, and or utilize you. Now I'm getting Philip K. Dick in that kind of like mindset with that. The precogs, they took these people, these women, and they threw them in a whirlpool, and they stuck headsets on them. Or so if you remember me saying that I sometimes wake up and I get these lights, I do what a few other people do as a TI. I feel like they're messing around either with my clone, or there is some kind of essence of me that is outside of this 3D construct that they mess around with me, and you might as well get this. So the lights, like a bathing suit cap, and it reminds me of the Minority Report, where Philip K. Dick wrote the story. He had the precogs that were taken against their will. They didn't want to be there, and they were put in the water because their gifts were stolen. They're being stolen. So that's how the precog, that's how the Minority Report system worked. It would tell on people in the future for the probabilities of what would happen, though it was not factual. It was just a potential timeline. So anyways, I have the directed energy weapon. If this feels like it's something that resonates with you, it could be somebody is targeting you and they are secret society using weapons of that nature. We have cyber attack. A cyber incident may soon unfold. It could be a routine glitch or the opening move in a larger game. Even after systems recover, the trust they once held may be compromised. So I had bank show up in here, so it could be banking system. It could be government. It could be flock, or what are these? Ring, these different places that can tell on porch thieves and people who want to be thieves and commit crimes upon our houses or our cars, our businesses, whatever, right? It could be because the next card I have a surveillance state. The state of surveillance is tightening its grip, using data as a means of control. Cultivate practices of digital discretion and be mindful of the information you share. So yeah, your information is critical that you keep it under wraps. So your visibles, your name, your voice, your face, that's your visibles, but criteria about your history, about your whereabouts, your address, your social, your all the things about you, right? Hey, Joshua. Hello, how are you? Are you real? I have 17 people I think are in here. So, how are you, Joshua? And I hope you're of age because this is only for adults only. Hey, Trexton, how are you? It's good to see people saying hello. I hope you're all of age and that you're here for the right reasons. Hello, Ava, how are you? Well, 14 is not old enough to be here. So I'm sorry I have to let you go. But thank you for being honest with me. Hey, Julianne Lee, how are you? Okay, so I have the Morrigan. So if anybody's familiar with the Morrigan, Celtic Irish ancient, the Morrigan is a shape-shifting Celtic goddess of war, fate, and sovereignty, often appeared as a crow on the battlefield, foretelling death or guiding warriors. Feared and revered, she could inspire frenzy or retreat with the presence of her presence. Associated with cycles of life and death, she embodies the raw power of transformation and the eerie beauty of endings. Her myth reflects ancient respect for the feminine, chaos, prophecy, and the spiritual edge between war and destiny. Pretty good, thank you so much. Well, you have to tell me your age. I mean, it's clearly stated inside the description area. So if you read that, you'll know. But 18 is the age of adulthood in the US. So that is what we align it to. But hello, Primi. We have border control. Lines on a map are rarely about geography alone. They shape narratives, fuel conflict, and divide the people as policies shift and tensions rise. Discernment is vital. Okay, Nunez, you're fine to be here. 30 is definitely an adult. I'm just reading. I don't usually have it open. I read kind of woo-woo topics, things that are going on in the world, things that are sometimes sci-fi and spy and thriller and, I just read tarot and sometimes I read books. I have a book about robots that I'm going to read, the Stepford Wives. It was written in the 60s or 70s, I believe. I was going to read that. I'm reading some tarot right now. If you're interested in hearing about the world events, the world things happening that I pulled previously. Bye, Ava. Thank you for coming by. So I have cards and I have books. We have climate change coming. So this could be earthquakes, land. Does anybody know about mud floods? That it could be that. I mean, there could be something that happens like that creates different structure of the land. Tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, different climate change coming, storms. There's something of this nature coming up. Toxic and food shortages. So toxic food. So this is mostly America I'm speaking on, but the worldwide it could be. Yeah, mud flood's one of those things that could actually change the construct under our feet. So like say everything is going to appear different. It is kind of a woo-woo topic. A lot of people don't talk about it. It isn't considered something that usually most people believe. It definitely has some grit to it. I believe some of the things I hear sound and feel like they could be true. We have the Marfa lights. Mystery lights continue to baffle. From where did they come? Incredible orbs of light, some unknown energy. Now, the Marfa lights, they say, originated in the 1880s to current in Texas, the state of Texas. They're an unexplained kind of phenomena. It says the desert near Marfa, Texas, mysterious glowing orbs have, appeared for over a century, hovering and splitting and dancing in the distance without explanation. First reported, they're like orbs by settlers in the 1800s. The lights have been attributed to car headlights, mirages, or geological gases, yet no theory fully accounts for their behavior. Locals and tourists continue to witness them, and scientific studies remain inconclusive. The Marfa lights persist as an eerie, luminous puzzle of the American Southwest. Have any of you ever seen anything like that? The Georgia Guidestones, anybody know about them? They were removed, and there is still probably a time capsule underneath the ground. Global conspiracy theory, eerie messages for humanity. Avoid petty laws and use. Systematic. It's a leveling of the population down to a lower level. If you've heard of the Deagle report, this kind of works hand in hand with that. I was going to look into that. We have a secret order exposed, sinister instructions, and erected in 1980 in rural Georgia. The Georgia Guidestones were a granite monument inscribed with 10 cryptic guides in 8 languages, urging population control, global unity, and harmony with nature, commissioned by a mysterious figure under a pseudonym. Their origins and purpose sparked widespread speculation. Some saw them as a blueprint for a new world order, others as a warning. In 2022, the monument was bombed and dismantled, only deepening the mystery surrounding its creation and intent. So they survived from 1980 to 2022. Texas had some recently blue orbs. And didn't Texas also have the red and the pink Boris, the lights? But yet that is actually radioactive kind of material in the air. But they say that the actual Boris, or the entire sky when it's blue and green, is also radioactive. So not sure what that really was going on then. It would be fun to see something like that. I've had orbs in my house a couple times. Now, some people believe that they're fairies, elementals. Some people believe that they're lost spirits, souls, or people who crossed over that we knew. Some people, I lost my connection over here. And some people have different beliefs in what the orbs actually are. I think that if we have the capability of creating ectoplasma within our own hands, because some people have abilities and gifts like that, and they're unaware of it, maybe we could even create them ourselves, maybe, and unknowingly do this. I mean, it could be something that is just not tapped for all people. Maybe we don't know. Thank you, Aurora Spurl. I cannot say it. I had a mouth injury, so it's hard to enunciate everything. So sorry. Thank you for letting me know that. And that helps the people here too. So if they can't understand me, thank you. 200 critters, 200 fallen. So you mean the fallen angels? Is that what you're speaking to? Max Life, and welcome. How are you? So Max Life, are you anybody a Stranger Things fan here? I haven't yet, because I promised to watch it with someone else. I haven't yet got into this season. So is anyone here a Stranger Things fan? Did anybody see Three Body Problem? And I watched the Squid Games. Did you watch any of the shows that are, like, modern? I have not watched the new season yet, but yes, I am. Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to come over that is supposed to watch it with me, but I don't know if it's 2 episodes they've already done or 1. They're moving slow, I think, so I think it may only be 1. But yes, I'm actually very eager to see that. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Okay, so the other cards we have here are frequency harvesting. Anybody know the terminology loosh? So somebody might understand what looshing means. Not everybody does, right? But say you have like energies that are spiritual, that are of the dark side, or demons, if you will, or say somebody does work in sorcery. Okay. A looshing is something where there's a sinister plot to siphon energy off another. And we have this here for fear, anger, and despair. Generate an energy that functions like currency. Some systems and entities survive by keeping you in a state that produces it. So it is good. This is kind of like me telling whomever doesn't understand this to kind of keep your energy kind of at a momentous or like a harmonic kind of state, because any kind of mood fluctuations that could be over the top in anger, fear, um, even love. I mean, if you're over the moon, really giddy with love, right? Any kind of energy they can siphon. So it's just kind of a little indication there. Supply chain meltdown. So there's something coming maybe that could be like fires or something to manufacture plants where foods are at, they're produced. A global supply chain collapse is underway, but within chaos lies opportunity. This is a time to reestablish local networks, barter and trade, reconnect with your community, and focus on self-sufficiency. So if this affects you, if you're in the US specifically, then it is a good idea to look to outside the box approach to make up for what it is that you may not any longer be able to get if this happens. Yeah, looshing it is a energy. It's a form of energy vampirism. We have controlled collapse. When structures fall in a pattern too precise to be coincidence, it may be a decay. It may be demolition. The blueprint for the new world is often drawn in the rubble of the old. So if you're familiar, I'm not going to talk politics, but if you're familiar with what's happening and who is running the US of America, right? The USA, that person is very skillful and knowledgeable about real estate and tactical moves to destroy uh, what has been produced, what has been created. So former businesses and structures. He knows how to do that. So this is this at play right here. Fake alien invasion. This is a concerning one because a lot of people have been on TikTok and elsewhere reporting and showing lights and what looks like spacecrafts, things like that. There's a fake alien invasion going on, and it says the sky may be filled with strange lights and spectacles, but the truth lies far beneath the surface. Question everything, for not all visitors from above are enemies. So maybe they're setting us up to think that we have enemies coming. I'm kind of feeling that Independence Day film, but those were not good. But there was another one that Mars Attacks. No, there was another one I saw, but I feel that they're setting us up for fake invasions. So we just need to be aware and also um, kind of be analytical. Don't just like believe what you see. You really need to examine farther. Okay, we have biological warfare. Illness can spread naturally or it can spread by design. In a world where science and politics intertwine, the truth can be hard to trace. Okay, so this is like another C19 thing, and or other things that could happen in a petri dish, or society is going to get a sneeze and then everybody starts to get it, and boom, everybody in society is under quarantine again. So this is just kind of like a heads up that there could be somebody trying something to plot something in that essence. And then we have starting wars. The drums of war are beating, but look deeper into the profits from the bloodshed. Wars are often started not for protection or liberation, but to serve hidden agendas. So that is something that is right down the vein of, say, what's going on over at the strip, the G strip. Okay. And to some level, that place is not real. That's how I'm going to call it, because I can't really say the name. Is intricately involved, right? And it's up to you, your own thinking, philosophies, whatever. But there are parties involved and money is at play. And there are popular faces, names, and brandings involved. And they orchestrate wars so they can make money. And then we have explosives, and we have 5G, and we have evil corporation. So when I said that, I was thinking of Larry Ellison's company. Evil corporations that could be funded by companies, people that are connected to countries, different places, corporations. And he has a company that he runs now called TikTok. His son has Sundance. They could be involved. I don't know. I will have to pull cards on that. I will. I have Quetzalcoatl here. We have World Leader. Before I go on further, we have Lost and World Leader. And then Quetzalcoatl. Anybody have a Mayan heritage here? Anybody with a Mayan heritage? Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. I would appreciate it if others would, but that's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to feel compelled or forced to. I would appreciate you maybe subscribing too if you like what you're hearing, if you're interested in more. There's always something different that I share here. And often it's woo-woo topics, mysteries, things like that. Sometimes I'm more set to talk about particulars, but right now I'm kind of giving you what the spirits gave me. I pulled these accordingly, and we have Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is a Mayan deity. Yeah, I don't use anything outside of this. So no, no IG, no TikTok, no, what is it? Meta, no Facebook, no. I'm on Odyssey and I'm on YouTube, and I do have a Substack, but I don't use it. That's it. I'm just pretty simple. Cherokee Indian. Are you Cherokee Indian? Really? Oh, that's awesome. My dad's side, my mother, I mean my grandmother, excuse me, she has Cherokee in her. She did. Missing out. Dashi, how are you? Are you Dashi, are you an adult? Okay, Aztec, pre-Columbian. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent deity of Mesoamerican myth, embodied wind, knowledge, and creation. Revered as a civilizing god, he taught humans agriculture, art, and science. According to legend, he was tricked into exile but vowed to return, a prophecy later linked to the arrival of the Spanish. His dual form, serpent and bird, symbolizes earth and sky. Quetzalcoatl's story reflects cycles of renewal, cultural pride, and the enduring tension between wisdom and power. I am even have my native bloodline card. Oh, that is awesome. So maybe you popped in because you were guided here. Maybe there's something here I'm gonna say that you need to hear. I don't know. Well, there's a lot going on right now with what they're toying with in America with the say I don't have the cleanest way I can put it is ethnic cleansing. So it could be that you need to hear something I'm giving here, because there is a lot of, say, I would say that 80% of maybe the population in America is right now. That's the reason why the guidestones have been removed. They don't want us in the know. They don't want us in the fold of the know. And they had 2 secret societies come out in 2 different cards and a gift. So you might have a gift that they would like to steal. So if you have gifts, protect your gifts. Now, when I say that, I mean your psychic abilities, your spirituality, because a lot of native to the land people are very, very insightful. They have gifts. And I was talking earlier about Philip K. Dick and how they stole in the story the women, and they stuck them in the water, and they tried to utilize their gifts, steal their gifts, right? So maybe you are here because I am supposed to um, guide you, maybe against maybe those that would do this, because the Georgia Guidestones are the card we pulled, and the other deck we pulled, population control. So I don't know what part of the U.S. you're in. If you're in a blue state, a red state. I mean, I presume you're in the America, right? What are my thoughts? My thoughts are, I don't think that there is any food they've not ruined, but that remains to be seen. I think they've been messing with our food longer than we think. If you know anything about Cinnamix, which is something they put into chocolate back about a decade or so or more, they've been doing things they should not have done. And it's critical to our well-being that they've done this, and they've compromised us. But I think we can still save ourselves by being in the know and just kind of cautiously treading through that path, what we're going to consume, what we aren't going to consume. And there's also some frequencies we can do to help ourselves get healed. But I am not a doctor, and I'm not supposed to give doctor information. But if you're familiar with frequencies online, they can help too. Hey, Healing Hearts, how are you, Victoria? Miles, thoughts on the Campbell soup. That's what I have for the Campbell soup. Do you want me to read on it for you? Do you have a question you'd like to ask on that? I was doom scrolling until I came across here. I'm in California. Hey, you're on the same side of the coast as me. I'm up above you. I'm in the Oregon area. And so the population control from the other deck is behind closed doors, plans are made to reduce the population under the guise of public health and sustainability, which is framed as a protection may conceal a darker intention. So if you're familiar with the Deagle Report, a lot of military was familiar, and I think that's the reason why they're not fighting with the regime we have in the U.S. right now. They're sort of letting things go, and they're letting things be, and they're going along with things that they don't believe in, because I think that they're going with that Deagle Report. The idea of the Deagle Report is that there's going to be mass loss of people will perish. Let's just say that is the plan. Okay, that's the word I have to use. So that is the idea. And so I think they're going to use military. I think they're going to do that. There could be biohazards. Now, I don't necessarily know that this is actually going to take hold. No, I don't know that they're going to get their way. This is the plan, though. The Georgia Guidestones have been destroyed because they want to keep us in the dark. 3 of Cups. So they are still trying to celebrate this idea that they're putting forth. Page of Wands. So they are still actually partly on plan with this. Now, a lot of people in America have been removed and placed in countries that they thought, that when I say they, the regime thought they were supposed to go to, and or they're in holding places. Things are not good in America as of right now. It depends on what side of the aisle you sit on. You may think everything's going hunky-dory. You might be somebody that's for that. I'm not. Okay, that's my personal standpoint. I'm not. I am for peace. This is nothing but, or anything but peace. Oh, Coos Bay. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty beach. Frequency is good. Frequency is good. Okay. Did you have a particular frequency? Because I was going to suggest soup or baked. I'm going to suggest, if you decide you wanted, if you don't know frequency healing. They do have forever plastics, things like that, forever chemicals, things like that, that you can get frequency healing on, and you can try to remove it from the frequency music. Now we have an internal breach. This is the positive thing I want to share with everyone. If you've been listening to doom and gloom that I'm saying right now, this is the light in the fire of maelstrom that I think we can look to. I got the card. I'm holding it out as the last one, okay? The card is called Internal Breach. Here before us is somebody holding a top secret packet, okay? Going against the plan, legal report, and everything I aforementioned. Somebody who's going against the grain. It could be a high official. It could be a lawyer, a judge. It could be military, a JAG, a JAG lawyer. It's somebody who is internally breaching. When you look at this from the other side around, if the regime that we have now is corrupt, to breach this would mean that they would try to set things right. It would be kind of like a military coup. So there's already a coup that's in place that is also a illegitimate functioning regime. Okay, it's not an actual administration. It is not legitimate. So the card itself says, not all in power serve the machine. Now the machine has been hijacked. Okay, so the machine is now out to destroy us. There is somebody behind the scenes that is out to stop this. Hidden among the halls of control are those who will not bow, who stand for truth, freedom, and the people they swore to protect. Somebody is secretly doing something to overturn some of this. So we have something on our side, someone working in the shadows. Hey, Ronaldo. Hello. How are you? Ronaldo, I don't do general readings here. I don't. I do read on topics that are like avant-garde or weird or like bump in the night kind of stuff, but not personal readings here. Okay, I'm just going to ask for for the card that we just pulled, Internal Breach. Is there somebody that is working in the shadows with others to take down this illegitimate regime right now in the U.S.? Got the Sun, so there's a spotlight on that. Ace of Wands and Temperance. Yeah, they're taking their time. There is somebody building some kind of fire. They're putting some passion towards bringing something to the spotlight and taking their time at this, but it could be a fire sign. They're stuck between. I'm getting the past and the future, so strength. They're trying to be strong, so they're not trying to show their hand. Is this person working with others? Are they helping guide the military to go the right way? Guide the military to take back this nation? Is this what's happening? Two of Swords. What is the Two of Swords? The Hangman. So they're stuck between a position in which they need to get the traitor hung for a jury, hung before a jury. They need to try them to be hanged. So there is some kind of work right now in the background. Three of Wands. It's coming together. So there is somebody working in the background. They might be in a position of authority over all the Jags that are speaking to the military at this time. Is that right? Six of Pentacles, exchanging energy to put an end to this. Yes, death, Six of Pentacles. But I have to look at this farther, and this is the scarier part to look at, but I'm going to. Did the Deagle report and the Georgia Guidestones have anything to do with each other? The Deagle report, a population decrease report, the Deagle report for 2025. Does it have anything to do with the Guidestones? Eight of Cups. What is Eight of Cups? Seven of Swords. Yeah, it's very deceptive. Walking away deceptively. Walking away deceptively. What? The Fool. So they cleared the slate when they dumped the Guidestones. They deceptively thought that they could walk away from there being a connection between the two things. Is that what we have here? They were trying to deceive us by doing that. Queen of Cups. They were trying to cease people from being aware, intuitive. Ten of Wands. They wanted to burden us. So are the parties that put the Guidestones up the same parties that took it down? Ten of Swords. No, it is not the same person's people or group. Okay, so was it part of the regime that we have currently in 2022? Were they the ones that destroyed the Guidestones? Two of Swords. What is Two of Swords? Page of Cups. Feels like a yes. Queen of Wands. Okay, the Queen of Wands and the Emperor kind of feels to me like there was a kind of feels like the person was chosen from a business. The attractive, like, say, person that was the spokesperson or something of this nature was chosen as the one to reach out and maybe have a group destroy that was not connected. So maybe they had, why am I getting the word mercenaries? But that's different. Mercenaries different. So they were enlisting some kind of group, some kind of renegade group or something like this. Eight of Cups, so that they could walk away clean-handed and not be attached or known that they were part of this. Yeah, clean cut. Queen of Swords. Is there anything in the ground in the time capsule still remaining there at the site, at the Georgia site, please? Anything in the ground there? The Devil. Okay, so there's something very obsessive there. Something, devil obsessive. No, not obsessive. What is that? What is the Devil? The Magician. Okay, so they did use that as a focal point because there used to be a slot that looked at the sun. When the sun would set at a certain point, it would come through and it would shine through that little square. And so it was positioned properly so that they could do their magic there. So it was actually used for magic. There's still something there to garner in, say, some kind of a, and I don't think that was put in when that R.C. Christensen put it in. Was the time capsule put in a different time than the actual slabs went up of granite? Five of Swords. There's some conflict. Five of Swords and the Five of Wands, conflict, drama, Nine of Swords. I'm not feeling that this happened. I'm gonna have to look at this on a Wikipedia and see what it tells me, because I think I remember. Does anybody know about the Georgia Guidestones? I think I remember the Georgia Guidestones were put up before the time capsule was in the ground. Is that right? See, the thing is I think that there's three parties involved. That or the second party that come in that put the time capsule down below was the Deagle related, like military or whomever is behind the scenes. So there is like a secret order or group or foundation that hired somebody to go and do the explosives so that they could have clean hands. So then it was taken away by the factions in which erected not the slabs, but they put the time capsule. At least that is what I'm getting. The time capsule was put in because the sorcery is used on that particular portion. Because the devil and the magician, it's like something under the ground was put in there, like art. Sometimes people will say, go check your yard if somebody puts voodoo on you or something like that. So there's something in the ground there. So they created a set point of the intention to knock the population down to a certain level. So with their sorcery, they're actually able to manifest what it is they're looking forward to having done. I'm gonna get the Wikipedia out of. I'm gonna get the Guidestones out of Wikipedia. Okay, I'm gonna read up on it real quick. Georgia Guidestones was a granite monument that stood in Elbert County, Georgia, United States from 1980 to 2022. It was 19 feet, 3 inches, which is 5.83 meter tall, and made from 6 granite slabs weighing a total of, 6 is interesting because the SCOTUS, there's 6 judges that are causing the trouble in America. 6 of them are the ones that are in the pocket of corruption. 6 is always a number that's coming up for me lately. So it weighed 237,746 pounds. The structure was sometimes referred to as an American Stonehenge. The monument's creators believed that there was going to be an upcoming social, nuclear, or economic calamity, and they wanted the monument to serve as a guide for humanity and the world which would exist after it. Controversial from its time of construction, it ultimately became the subject of conspiracy theories, which alleged that it was actually connected to Satanism. Well, duh. If they're trying to cull a population, what gives you that idea? As opposed to Christianity, as its creator claimed. You don't have to be a Christian to believe in, that they were using dark magic to do this. Christianity has nothing to do with people using dark magic. So it was dismantled July 6, 2022. On the morning of July 6th, the Guidestones were heavily damaged in a bombing from a vandal, and the debris and Guidestones were removed by the local government later that day. In late July, Elberton Mayor Daniel Graves announced plans to rebuild the monument. I got the card Daniel in one of my last live streams here that I did talk on readings. In August, the Elbert County Board of Commissioners voted to donate the remains of the monument to the Elberton Granite Association and return the 5 acres of land on which monument was erected to a previous owner. Oh, that sounds quite tidy, doesn't it? And there's no talking of the Okay, so if you know, you know. The acronym that I'm going to say backwards is AIC. So you know you'll have to turn that around. That acronym network is behind Wikipedia and a lot of the different websites we go to online. So it isn't really something very credible, but I don't know where else to look, so I am going to check out the time capsule. Because if it wasn't brought out, I find it even more suspect. And no, that's not a conspiracy theory. A normal person would want to know things about this, right? I mean, that's what I get really mad about, this whole conspiracy tinfoil hat. Normal people who are logical, they question a narrative. Narratives should be questioned. This is normal. So, for people to make fun, that is also something that the AIC created, was the whole tinfoil hat thing, because they wanted to nullify anyone that would question a narrative. It was a way to shut people up. It was a way to commandeer the power of the story, the narrative, the direction, the mind control of the many. And now they say, after years of rumors of it, no time capsule was found at the site of Georgia Guidestone. So I'm just not a believer of what I'm told, especially with the Deagle thing coming out. It's just too weird. What are your thoughts? Anybody think that there's something weird there? So the Deagle report, can you tell me if that is related to the destruction of the Guidestones, please? Yes, we have the death card, straight up. So I'm going to go on a limb and say that that means something, because if they wanted massive amounts, and they're both topics are about population ending, massive amounts of ending populations, that makes sense. Okay, so my next question is the one that is working behind the scenes right now with that confidential folder, that one that could be working with or be a JAG or a lawyer or a judge or somebody of power, somebody of authority, somebody military maybe. Is that person able to, are they working to insert themselves to stop this Deagle operative that's going on right now? The population, Three of Wands. What is the Three of Wands? Ace of Swords. The Knight of Swords. This is somebody military. It's military related. Can I get more on that person? The Hermit. They're keeping themselves. They're behind closed doors. Who are they and what are they up to? They're inspecting with Seven of Cups. They're inspecting. The options. Eight of Wands. They're inspecting the options. So they're rigidly looking over the military, each soldier, who they can have cooperate on a team to, yeah, I'm kind of bring justice to this, but I got the Queen of Swords. What is the Queen of Swords? Queen of Cups. We have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups insinuates for me somebody who has an ounce of humanity and heart left in them, compassion. So he's weighing out the military accordingly to who is coming to him and who has true heart left to them. Three of Cups. So there is a high official that is holding a folder of some kind of a important significance of the data he's getting out of these people. Eight of Pentacles, and he's working on a plan. He's bringing together, and he's quietly doing it, the Hierophant. So he's a spiritual being too, I think. Somebody very traditional. And he looks at this, the military, in a traditional way. So what does this mean for the plot to reduce dramatically the population? What does this mean? Ten of Pentacles. Holding on to the legacy. What is that? Seven of Wands, to stand on business. Does that mean to produce protection for the people? Four of Swords. What is Four of Swords? Four of Pentacles. I'm getting unrelenting energy out of that. He wants to walk away from this mission. So maybe they were signed up for it and they didn't realize it was going to get real, and it's getting real. Six of Wands. He wants to see a victory at ending. Ace of Wands. This chapter. I think that somebody is literally trying to save the population. I don't know. I'll have to revisit this. This is definitely something I can't really sit on it being a finalized answer, but it does look to me like there is somebody behind the scenes, that could be a juggler or something even bigger, who is looking at getting the population spared, and it's just taking time, and he has to work behind closed doors, and he has to test all of the waters out with all of the people that are military under him. The report was actually removed from the website. Many books have been written on it since. Hey, Bite Cats, how are you? Thank you for telling me that, Super Baked. Super Baked, you know what? There is a little bit on YouTube, and there might be some of it on Odyssey. I don't know about Rumble. But yeah, some of us know. I don't know how old you are, if you were around, or if you're aware of back in the day. So you know about all the ICE detention facilities, right? And what they're doing with people. But they had this spin the other direction back in the 90s to the 2000s, the early 2000s, where they were talking about Rex 1984. Did you know about that? You're researching with AI at the moment. Okay, the other thing I had, since I already read on what I was going to read on, there is a book that I have here that I was going to read a little bit out of it. And it was written in 1970, excuse me, 1972. Now, Ira Levin was the author who also wrote The Boys from Brazil, which is the story of the cloned little children that were like Hitler clones. And the other stories he wrote were Sliver, which was a panopticon. It was kind of surveillance idea, the idea of being under watchful eye, although it wasn't as far reaching as a government doing this to anybody or Big Brother style. It was more of like a perversion of this man who owned a skyscraper, had a lot of money, and he had just a affinity for watching people. I can say he was a voyeur, I guess. Anyways, that was a story he wrote. And there's a couple others. And this one here is pretty famously known too. It is the Stepford Wives. And if you don't know the story, I'll give you a little idea of it. There was a town back east in the US where men belonged to a specific socialite club where it was men only. And they would have wives and they would pick, because of their, say, lifestyle, they would pick beautiful wives, kind of like how the wealthy do these days, right? And these wives, they would pick, they actually, after so long, once they got this thing going, they scientifically were able to trade them out in for robots. Life, appearing lifelike robots. Like what modern day right now, we have women who look like women, but they could be robots. They even have one that I have read about and seen in a little bit of a news blurb online that can carry children or appear pregnant and have dinner with her husband, and she's a robot. Men have been marrying AI and robots for a while. Women may be too. We've had stories of this nature. So this is becoming a real thing in this world we're in now. Yes, Rex 1984. It was around in the, and they'll call it a tinfoil hat kind of thing, right? But it truly wasn't done, because now we have all these places they're doing now. Like we have Walmarts they've emptied out, they're planning on using for storing people. There is supposedly an Amazon building they're talking about doing this to. It's really sinister. We never thought it was going to happen, but the plan in 1980 for that particular facility was sort of like the plan the future had that we see now, but Rex 1984 is not the particular element that was used. And it was mostly, there was Jesse Ventura and some famous people in politics behind speaking out on this. There was mostly, I would say, Republican people that were privy of this information. See, I'm old enough to know some things. And I'm young enough to gather others. So it's like I'm kind of caught in the pretty sweet spot when it comes to getting info. But the thing is, there's things that are so ever changing. And we're living in a time right now where many people don't want to see the truth, know the truth, understand the truth. The word Nazi, it's said the way it is. And I think it's funny how it does phonetically sound the way it does, because people sometimes don't want to see what's right before their eyes, right in their face. And so it's kind of like I was thinking about my mother and how there's things about her, it's like she doesn't want to see things. And that is the word that rhymes with Yahtzee. We have those people that walk around that kind of way who are militant, and they do the bidding of those that tell them what to do, right? Because they prey on those that just don't want to see. And those that do want to see are aware, but no one wants to hear them. I'm a 91 baby, so that's new to me. And that was about the time I think that it crept in. You might want to look into William Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse, which I have to do some more talking on that, but I got to find my book. I misplaced my book. But there's information on him that I might share again here. And he was always above the target. I'm not I don't belong to any pony on either side, the red or the blue. I will say, the tactics that are being used now, I am vehemently against. I do not like the things that are going on right now at all. But I am firmly for the sovereignty of our bodies, the sovereignty, the right, the free will of ourselves for how we treat our bodies. So I don't think that anyone has a right to stick a needle in my body. So there for a while, I was on the Republican side for that reason when he was in the first office, because I believed in, do not put a jab in my body or anyone else's if they don't want it. But the other thing is that I might sound wishy-washy because I do partake on both sides a little bit. No, I am not against the hate. I mean, I'm not against that. I'm not for the hate, I should say. I'm not against, the only thing I'm really, the APAC. Okay, so if you know what APAC is, okay, so the jabs, the APAC, putting things on our food that should not be there. I'm against all that. I'm against countries dictating our ways, our life, our politics, trying to puppeteer our politicians. I'm against that. I'm against people being taken away because they're being said that they don't belong here. I'm against that. I'm against all the crimes that are upon humanity right now. I'm against it all. I mean, I could name off a checklist I'm against, but that makes me an enemy, I guess, to the regime. And it's a regime. It is illegitimate. It's out to destroy many of us. So I'm not political, but there comes a time when if you love humanity, you got to speak, and I'm speaking. So I have the book, The Stepford Wives, and Ira Levin wrote it. And on the outside, it says, a diabolical thriller by the author of The Boys from Brazil, a chiller, such hard-edged horror as to make Rosemary's... Oh, yeah, he wrote Rosemary's Baby, which is about satanic implantation of a baby. Seem like a drawing room comedy, cosmopolitan, excuse me. 1972, published by Ira Levin. Today, the combat takes a different shape. Instead of wishing to put men in prison, women endeavors to escape from one. She no longer seeks to drag him into the realms of immanence, but to emerge herself into the light of transcendence. Now, the attitude of the males create a new conflict. It is with a bad grace that the man lets her go. Simon de Beauvoir, The Second Sex, The Stepford Wives, Chapter 1, The Welcome Wagon Lady. 60, if she was a day, but working at youth and vivacity, ginger hair, red lips, a sunshine yellow dress, twinkled her eye and teeth at Joanna and said, you're really going to like it here. It's a nice town with nice people. You couldn't have made a better choice. Her brown leather shoulder bag was enormous, old and scuffed. From it, she dealt Joanna, I was going to say Rosanna, Joanna packets of powdered breakfast drink and soup mix, a toy-sized box and non-pollutant detergent, a booklet of discount slips good at 22 local shops, 2 cakes of soap, a folder of deodorant pads. Enough, Joanna said, standing in the doorway with just hands full. Halt, thank you. The welcome wagon lady put a vial of cologne on top of the other things and then searched in her bag. No, really, Joanna said, and brought out a pink-framed eyeglasses and a small embroidered notebook. I do the notes on newcomers, she said, smiling and putting on the glasses for the Chronicle. She dug at the bag's bottom and came up with a pen, clicking its top with a red-nailed thumb. Joanna told her where she and Walter had moved from, what Walter did with it, which his firm, Pete's and Kim's names and ages, what she had done before and they were born, and which colleges she and Walter had gone to. She shifted impatiently as she spoke, standing there at the front door with her hands full and Pete and Kim out of earshot. Do you have any hobbies or special interests? She was about to say a time savings no, but hesitated. A full answer printed in the local paper might serve as a sign point to women like herself, potential friends. The women she had met in the past few days, the ones in the nearby houses, were pleasant and helpful enough, but they seemed completely absorbed in their household duties. Maybe when she got to know them better, she would find that they had farther-reaching thoughts and concerns. Yet, it might be wise to put up that signpost. So, yes, several, she said. I play tennis whenever I get the chance, and I'm a semi-professional photographer. Oh, and welcome, wagon lady said, writing. Joanna smiled. That means an agency handles 3 of my pictures, she said. And I'm interested in politics and in the women's liberation movement, very much so in that. And so is my husband. He is, the wagon lady looked at her. Yes, Joanna said, lots of men are. She didn't go into the benefits for both sexes explanation. Instead, she leaned her head back into the entrance hall and listened. A TV audience laughed in the family room, and Pete and Kim argued, but below intervention level. She smiled at the welcome wagon lady. He's interested in boating and football, too, she said, and he collects early American legal documents, Walter's half of the sign point. The welcome wagon lady wrote and closed her notebook, clicked her pen. That's just fine, Mrs. Eckert, she said, smiling and taking her glasses off. I know you're going to love it here, she said, and I want to wish you a sincere and hearty welcome to Stepford. If there's any information I can give you about local shops and services, please feel free to call me. The number's right there on the front of the discount book. Thank you, I will, Joanna said, and thanks for all of this. Try them. They're good products, the welcome wagon lady said. She turned away. Goodbye for now. Joanna said goodbye to her and watched her go down the curving walk towards her battered red Volkswagen. Dog suddenly filled its windows, a black and brown excitement of spaniels, jumping and barking, paws pressing glass, moving a whiteness beyond the Volkswagen caught Joanna's eye. Across the saplings-lined street, in one of the Claybrook's upstairs windows, whiteness moved again, leaving one pane and filling the next. The window was being washed. Joanna smiled in case Donna Claybrook was looking at her. The whiteness moved to a lower pane and then the pane beside it. With a surprising roar of the Volkswagen lunged from the curb, and Joanna backed into the entrance hall and hipped the door closed. Pete and Kim were arguing, louder. BM, diarrhea, ow, stop it. Cut it out, Joanna called, dumping the double handful of samples into the kitchen table. She kicked me, Pete shouted, and Kim shouted, I'm not, you diarrhea. Now stop it, Joanna said, going to the port and looking through. Pete lay on the floor, too close to the TV set, and Kim stood beside him, red-faced, keeping from kicking him. Both were still in their pajamas. She kicked me twice, Pete said, and Kim shouted, you changed the channel. He changed the channel. I did not. I was watching Felix the cat. Quiet, Joanna commanded. Absolute silence, utter, complete, total silence. They looked at her. Kim with Walter's wide blue eyes, Pete with her own grave dark ones. Race them to a flying finish, the TV set cried. No electricity. A, you're too close to the set, Joanna said. B, turn it off. And C, get dressed, both of you. That green stuff outside is grass, and the yellow stuff coming down on it is sunshine. Pete scrambled to his feet and pawed the TV control panel, blinking its screen to a dying dot of light. Kim began crying. Joanna groaned and went around into the family room. Crouching, she hugged Kim to her shoulder and rubbed her pajamaed back, kissed her silk soft ringlets. Ah, come on now. And she said, don't you want to play with that nice Allison? Maybe you'll see another chipmunk. Pete came over and lifted a strand of her hair. She looked up at him and said, don't change channels on her. Oh, all right, she said, winding a finger in the dark strand. And don't kick, she told Kim. She rubbed her back and tried to get kisses in at her squirming away cheek. So if you didn't get that, that was her scolding and speaking to her children. I'm also neither nor there. The other thing about the politics I was talking about was I keep on hearing all kinds of things that we need to be concerned about that the left seems to be okay about and the right doesn't. And there are so many things the right's pulling that I understand and agree on with the Dems that they want to stop. But it's like AIPAC and that faction that's pulling strings, that place that's not real, would really like to keep us down so we don't know the fights we're in. So we assign ourselves to a group, to a side, and they're both undermining us. Does that make sense? So I think that they're all part and party. I just started watching House of Cards. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's almost like we're going by a specific twisted script. The guy who is the star of the series, he starts out as the whip. He turns into vice president. Anyways, he's very twisted, and there's already 2+ at least lives that he's taken while he was whip. If not before that, he did take more than those lives. So the things that go on, the corruption, the ugliness, the vileness, it's real. And it looks like it's a script that we are watching play out now. Hey, Jackie, how are you? It has been a few days, huh? I am going to go to the Sagittarius channel, and I'm going to share some energy there, but I wish it was live stream. I can't do it that way, but if you could spread the word, that would be great. But I know there's not a lot of Sagittariuses out there, but any placement Sagittarius, anyone's welcome. And by the way, anybody who has not yet and they're interested, it is called At Ninth Door, NINTHDOOR, and it is Sagittarius only. And I have some cards already reserved over here for the Sagittarius reading. I'll keep that under wraps for now, but there are some readings I'm going to put over there. Regimes being behind the machine really hits different when you mention that. Yeah, so I think that the machine they hijacked it. I really do. So that makes sense to me anyway. And this is a planetary-wide thing because the Deagle report was supposed to spread everywhere. So they're undermining us with our food, our water, the military, the politicians, the clergy, the people that are into science, the people that are into God, the people that are into, you name the walk of life, they're getting everything. There is no place they're not touching. So how are those 2 jobs going? You're not burning out, are you, Jackie? I hope not. And have you been having any downloads on John? And I am reading the Stepford Wives. Have you ever seen or heard of this story? The Stepford Wives. And mind you, there was a TV movie that was out after the big screen movie, and there was also a remake of the movie where they had, in the 90s or the 2000s, they did a remake with Matthew Broderick, and Bette Midler was in it. I'm trying to remember. Not Naomi Watts. Was it Naomi Watts? I think it might have been Naomi Watts. It was one of the Aussie actresses. Nicole Kidman, maybe? You haven't started either one of them yet. But just don't burn out. Take care of your health, because, yeah, you don't want to have anything kind of like slip up under the radar and compromise you. Be healthy going in that. And Jackie, as you showed up, I got Ace of Cups. So you and John are definitely thinking of connecting, feeling some way. I wonder if I can... Oh, it only let me start a poll. I can't type in here. I'm hired at both, but haven't started. The first one, the manager is taking forever, and the second one, I'm doing testing. So it is totally a temperance energy for you then, because taking time, we're in Sagittarius energy. So, I mean, I don't have to tell you that, but what I'm wondering is if it's just going to be a slow trickle until boom, Capricorn happens, and then you're going to be really busy in the money making. Things are going to go slow. It's going to be a process, but you're going to be feeling heavier in the pockets, like you're making good money, right? Which is a good thing. You're not going to complain about that, right? So I do think that maybe you're just going to be temperance right now while you're waiting for things to um, garner the fruit you're waiting for, or solidify, I should say, because you're threading together something that's going to be lasting, or at least bring you. You might decide you like one better and stay at one, permanently, right? But just don't burn out. That's the only thing I know from experience. I used to have. There's a time I had 3 jobs at once. I was a go-getter when I was young, and it didn't really burn. I think it wore my body out more than anything. I mean, getting that emotional, kind of burnout, that does happen. But for me, I think I wore my body out because I overworked. I think I'm going to start at the second one before the first one. Oh, Jackie, I was going to introduce you. We have a new person here, Super Baked. Super Baked is our new person here at Deja. And yeah, you're just waiting for the horn to blow. Judgment, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it is going to be slow. But you're right. Maybe the second one is the right one to start out. I mean, if they're ready for you, I think that you're going to do well, though, having 2. I do. I just to be caution, you might lose some sleep. Be careful you rest well, that you're not overtired or excited or, stressed or anything like that. Anything that infringes on your rest, be careful. Oh, it's good to know you, Jacob, or meet you. You can call me Rochelle if you like. I'm Rochelle, and Jackie is here. I've seen a few new names. Yeah, I have it opened. I figured, you know what? I've had it closed so much. I might as well just let the doors open, right? Why not? I had to take some people that were children out, though, because we can't have, youngsters in here. So I'm going to go ahead and let you two talk to each other. I'm going to read just a little more out of this book. It was Walter's turn to do the dishes, and Pete and Kim were playing quietly in Pete's room. So she took a quick, cool shower and put on shorts and a shirt and her sneakers and brushed her hair. She peeked in on Pete and Kim as she tied her hair. They were sitting on the floor playing with Pete's space station. She moved quietly away and went down the new carpeted stairs. It was a good evening. The unpacking was done with finally, and she was cool and clean with a few free minutes, 10 or 15 if she was lucky, to maybe sit outside with Walter and look at their trees and their 2.2 acres. 2.2 acres. She went around and down the hallway. The kitchen was spick and span, the washer pounding. Walter was at the sink, leaning to the window and looking out towards the Van Sant house. A Rorschach blot of sweat stained his shirt. A rabbit with its ears bent outward. He turned around and stared and smiled. "How long have you been there?" he asked, dish towel wiping his hands. "I just came in," she said. "You look reborn." "That's how I feel. They're playing like angels. You want to go outside?" "Okay," he said, folding the towel. "Just for a few minutes, though. I'm going over to talk with Ted." He slid the towel onto a rod on the rack. "That's why I was looking," he said. "They just finished eating." "What are you going to talk with him about?" They went out onto the patio. I was going to tell you, he said as they walked. I've changed my mind. I'm joining that men's association. She stopped and looked at him. Too many important things are centered there to just opt out of it, he said. Local politicking and the charity drives and so on. She said, how can you join an outdated, old-fashioned... I spoke to some of the men on the train, he said. Ted and Vic Stavros and a few others. They introduced me to. They agree that the no woman allowed business is archaic. He took her arm and then walked on. But the only way to change it is from the inside, he said. So I'm going to help do it. I'm joining Saturday night. Ted's going to brief me on who's on what committees. He offered her his cigarettes. Are you smoking or non tonight? I was smoking, she said, reaching for one. They stood at the patio's far edge, in cool blue dusk twanging with crickets, and Walter held his lighter flame to Joanna's cigarette and to his own. Look at that sky, he said, worth every penny it cost us. She looked. The sky was mauve and blue and dark blue. Lovely. And then she looked at her cigarette. Organizations can be changed from the outside, she said. You get up petitions, you pick it. But it's easier from the inside, Walter said. You'll see. If these men I spoke to are typical, it'll be the Everybody's Association before you know it. Co-ed poker, sex on the pool table. If these men you spoke to were typical, she said, it would be the Everybody's Association already. Oh, all right. Go ahead and join. I'll think up slogans for place cards. I'll have plenty of time when school starts. He put his arm around her shoulders and said, hold off a little while. If it's not open to women in 6 months, I'll quit and we'll march together, shoulder to shoulder. Sex, yes. Sexism, no. Stepford is out of step, she said, reaching for the ashtray on the picnic table. Not bad. Wait till I really get going. They finished their cigarettes and stood arm in arm, looking at their dark, wide runway of lawn and tall trees, black against mauve sky. That ended it. Lights shone among the trunks of the trees, windows of houses on the next street over, Harvest Lane. Robert Andre is right, Joanna said. I feel very territorial. Walter looked around at the Van Sant house, then squinted at his watch. I'm going to go in and wash up, he said, and kissed her cheek. She turned and looked at his chin and kissed his lips. I'm going to stay out a few minutes, she said. Yes, if they're acting up. Or yell if they're acting up, sorry. Okay, he said. He went into the house by the living room door. She held her arms and rubbed them. The evening was growing colder. Closing her eyes, she threw her head back and breathed that smell of grass and trees and clean air. Delicious. She opened her eyes to a single speck of star in dark blue sky, a trillion miles above her. Starlight, star bright, she said. She didn't say the rest of it, but she thought it. She wished that they would be happy in Stepford, that Pete and Kim would do well in school, and that she and Walter would find good friends and fulfillment, that he wouldn't mind the commuting, that the whole idea of moving had been his in the first place, that the lives of all four of them would be enriched rather than diminished, as she had feared, by leaving the city, the filthy, crowded, crime-ridden, and so alive city. Sound and movement turned her towards the Van Sant house. Carol Van Sant, a dark silhouette against the radiance of her kitchen doorway, was pressing the lid down onto a garbage can. She bent to the ground, red hair glistening, and came up with something large and round, a stone. She put it on the top of the lid. Hi, Joanna called. Did you ask AI if AI knows about this book? Super Baked. I wonder what AI would say about the book. Carol straightened and stood facing her, tall and leggy and naked seeming, but edged by the purple of a lightened from behind dress. "Who's there?" she called. "Joanna Abhart," Joanna said. "Did I scare you? I'm sorry if I did." She went towards the fence and divided her and Walter's property from the Van Sands. "Hi, Joanna," Carol said in her nasal New Englandy voice. "No, you didn't scare me. It's a nice night, isn't it?" "Yes," Joanna said, "and I'm done with my unpacking, which makes it even nicer," she said. She had to speak loud. Carol had stayed by her doorway, still too far away for comfortable conversation, even though she herself was now at the flower bed, edging the split rail fence. "Kim had a great time with Allison this afternoon," she said. "They get along beautifully together." "Kim's a sweet little girl," Carol said. "I'm glad Allison had such a nice new friend next door. Good night, Joanna." She turned to go in. "Hey, wait a minute," Joanna called. Carol turned back. "Yes?" she said. Joanna wished that the flower bed and the fence weren't there, so she could move closer, or darn it, that Carol would come to her side of the fence. What was so top priority urgent in that fluorescent scent-lighted copper pot hanging kitchen? "Walter's coming over to talk with Ted," she said, speaking loud to Carol's naked, seeming silhouette. "When you've got the kids down, why don't you come over for a cup of coffee with me?" "Thanks, I'd like to," Carol said, "but I have to wax the family floor tonight. Night is the only time I can do it until school starts." "Well, can it wait? It's only 3 more days." Carol shook her head. "No, I put it off too long as it is," she said. "It's all over scuff marks. And besides, Ted will be going to the men's association later on." "Does he go every night?" "Just about." "Dear God," she said. "Home and do housework. You stay home and do housework." "Yeah, I did. It gave me a short synopsis and it made me want to watch the movie ASAP." There's 2 versions. You could watch the original, which I think is a better version to see, but if you don't want to see it, there was a 2000s version. I think you could see it for free or maybe rent it on YouTube. There might be a free place to find it. The original is far better because it's actually in the likeness of the book. The remake is kind of campy. You know how if you ever saw the Brady Bunch, they made the Brady movies, and the Brady movies are not really in true light of what the actual series was like. It's like a mockery on the series. Same kind of thing with the film in the 2000s. Where was I? "There's always something or other that has to be done," Carol said. "You know how it is. I have to finish the kitchen now. Good night." "Good night," Joanna said, and watched Carol go profile of too big bosom into her kitchen and close the door. She reappeared almost instantly at the other over the sink window, adjusting the water level, taking hold of something and scrubbing it. Her red hair was neat and gleaming. Her thin face looked thoughtful and, damn it all, intelligent. Her big purple breast bobbed with her scrubbing. I have to just tell you real quick, the woman that I'm reading about right now was portrayed. Have you ever seen the original Gilligan's Island? Which there, I think, was only one version. But the girl who plays Ginger, the actress on Gilligan's Island, the actress who played the redhead one, she is actually the actress that was the neighbor across the street in the first movie, in the first version. So I'm trying to remember the first movie. The woman in the lead role was also in The Graduate. If you ever saw The Graduate, it was the woman who played in The Graduate, and I can't think of her name right now. So if you've seen that film, you know who I mean. Joanna went back to the patio. No, she didn't know how it was, thank God. Not to be like that, a compulsive Hausfrau who could blame Ted for taking advantage of such an asking to be exploited patsy. She could blame him, that's who. Walter came out of the house in a light jacket. I don't think I'll be more than an hour or so, he said. That Carol Van Sant is not to be believed, she said. She can't come over for a cup of coffee because she has to wax the family floor, the family room floor. Ted goes to the men's association every night and she stays home doing housework. Jesus, Walter said, shaking his head. Next to her, she said, my mother is Kate Millett. I don't know who that is. Okay. He laughed. See you later, he said, and kissed her cheek, and she went across the patio. She took another look at her star. Brighter now. Get to work, you, she thought to it, and went into the house. So, a funny story of why I have this book. I didn't buy it myself. My husband literally had a friend who had a whole bunch of books, and in the collection, everything was something that my spouse would have read, right? This guy was the one who inherited the books from his mother. He actually wanted me to have this book. There was another one I got from him too, and I want to say it was Tolkien, but I can't remember. But this book, it's so funny because, I mean, the idea of misogynist men or men that would want women to behave like robots or be, you know, like programmed or something like that. It's just kind of funny coming to mind there, you know, how I received it, you know, the party in which I received it from. Your mom's favorite show. So you knew who Tina Louise was then. 1975, The Stepford Wives is available on most streaming platforms. And hopefully you can get it free. I mean, it's not something that really is worth paying for. I mean, I don't know. You might be somebody who doesn't mind, or you can, but it isn't something that I think that should be a pay for, you know. You should be able to get a good deal on it in some way. YouTube does have, you know, like a lot of strange places that you find movies that are loaded, you know, like they're considered free. Or like, I didn't even know that House of Cards, they have the entire first season on YouTube, which we're dwindling to the end of our days on Netflix, it looks like. But so it's available to me at this time, but I watched it at YouTube. I should not have, though, because to be quite honest, YouTube has been kind of a the characteristics are not of humanity based, let's just say. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, right? Well, we're getting hammered with rain. This is like the third time. Have you had any earthquakes down there that you know of in Cali? Because they're talking about Cali moving quite a bit, and I think the Cascadia, and I don't know if you're on a particular fault line, because I think Cali has a couple of them, right? So I'm wondering how much movement's going on under your feet there. I'll check YouTube first, then have some free stuff. I definitely know what you mean. Yeah, and I try not to really exploit it too much. That way it stays that way. So, I mean, if you want to see House of Cards, if you haven't, that would be a great way to see it. You can get one season of it. They had it in Arabic, but I don't know how to speak Arabic, of course, and I couldn't get the captioning in English. But they had a little bit of season 2, I think, in Arabic, which isn't that interesting because they're kind of, the show is kind of painting the picture of where we're going or how things are, but maybe not in some of the exploitation we've been through. We're going through some real dark stuff here. But they were carrying on martial law, or it was getting on the edge of it in season 2. We had a small earthquake a week back. I know the Cascadia subduction zone has been rumbling in low frequency as recent as yesterday. Yeah, I think I heard Canada, or was it Alaska and Canada got hit really hard with it was Juno, right? I think that the Alaskan region meeting the border of Canada, I think they got a real big hit in the last like 2 days or something, the last 24. And I kind of wonder how much of this is like not submarine related, because it's off the ocean and they could send sonar, they could hit the lines, the veins in the earth, right? They could actually propel us into the earthquakes that they, like people always like look at things as predictive programming or this or that. You talk about like Nostradamus and Edgar Casey and such and such. I think everything is actually scripted rather than like in the way movies and TV shows and stuff tell us things. I think it's scripted because they're making things a reality. That are using the technology to do it. And the Tesla papers and all these other things, they were able to um, construct these things to make them actual realities. And I thought they said 7 point something, so they must have marked it down to a 6. Yeah, my prayers are definitely out there for those people, because I think that it's pretty cold there too. So, when you think about it, if there is any ice in those regions, that could be bad. I don't know that Alaska's that icy anymore like they used to be, but so the sun blasted out a huge gamma ray, and as soon as the waves reached the earth, we had the volcano blast off in Hawaii, when the Alaskan earthquake, same time. I was wrong. It was 7 point. So they didn't downgrade it then. They stuck with that then. That's an easy mistake. No, I was gonna say the gamma ray that you're talking about. I had some massive things happen where I am, and I had the sky rumbling, and then I saw a channel. I don't know if you know his channel. I don't know his name. I don't. He just goes by JW. It's like J blank W, and he talks about seismic activities and just different oddities going on planetary wide, right? And I only catch his videos every now and then because I'm not subscribed, but he was talking about, I think that's where I found the information. And there was something about the skyquakes, and he was talking about black skies. And I don't know if they're doing something to mess with the atmosphere, because Gates, the man who made Windows, right? Can't really get into saying his name more than that, right? He wants to black out the sky or the sun. Did you know that? Oh, Stephen Burns is a good one to watch too. Yeah. The Earthmaster is one that I watch for earthquakes. You don't believe in astrology or tarot, do you? Because I have tarot channels. If you're interested, let me know. And I can't type anything in my box here, though. I can only do a poll. It won't give me a typing box, an entry area. He wants to blast metal into the atmosphere or something like that, right? Yeah. He has a plan to put us in the dark and make it a total dystopian. I have a mitochondrial Bird Box, the movie that Netflix did. I have a mitochondrial read I did sometime back on this channel. If you get a chance to listen to that, you might want to hear that one. They're trying to eradicate us from our mother lineage, our mitochondrial lineage. And the God Spark is something I'm sure you probably already are aware of. They're trying to rip us from that. So they want us to be more transhuman. They want to make us hybrids to start with, and then move on to the other side of it, which would be stripping humanity away from us. So not having sun would be one key component to, because what do you do when you want to starve a plant? You take away the water, you take away the nutrients and the sun, because the key components to grow and also nurturing loving energy, because you talk good and sweet and loving and kind and compassionate towards a plant. And if you don't have that to offer, the plant will not survive. I don't follow many channels like that, but I am interested in astrology and whatnot. Do you follow tropical or sidereal, or do you just like listen to just signs? I have a Sagittarius channel that I created for tarot reading. That's what I was why I was asking, but I read tarot as well. So if you are interested, let me know and I'll tell you my channels. And I can actually open it now. I think my other app, my other machine. I have been I'm not talking real well. I'm sorry. I was talking for an hour on my last channel. So I was able to get in. Okay, there we go. Um, so I popped in and it was completely impromptu. And before I went in, I gulped a whole bunch of water, so I was burping the entire time into the mic. It was horrible. The sun is the only reason for sustainable life on Earth. Not sure why we would want to block it. Sometimes I check my signs horoscope, but that's about it. Yeah, to block the sun, it's well, okay. I was gonna say those solar powered lights, they're not really that great anyway. I don't think many people really get value out of those, but it's almost like they're gonna try and control our electricity. So it's like they want to nullify our energy. So that whole WEF thing, you'll own nothing and be happy. They're making it where we will have just the idea of every dystopian novel you ever read rolled up into one. They just want to have dark times for us. And so I'm not sure if the Deagle report is the only thing, the faction that I was reading on a little bit ago is working in concert to try to find people to help end that plan, or if the rest of this is part of that. I'll have to look into that another time. It is. And I just read somebody comment, because I get a lot of information actually from the community areas, right? I saw somebody comment, and it does stand to reason. I don't even have to question it, because there's just so much negativity associated with this group. But that not real place, I can't say the place that is responsible for APAC, right? Paying people to do their bidding in our political scheme, right? From outside of our nation, that place, right? I can't say their names, but they're behind the WEF. They're part of that. So it's all connected. Everything, it seems to lead right back there. So, I mean, I'm not a person who's against any particular groups. I'm not a hater, but I certainly am against the crap that's going on here, and that's the nicest way I can say it. I'm totally against that. Okay. Honey, baby. There's nowhere to go there, honey. I'm sorry. I know. had to take that way, baby. Okay, so when you do astrology, do you ever look at your south node and your north node? Or do you know your chart? I got your 6th house and I got your south node when I was pulling. Your 7th house and your Pallas Athena thinking. And I don't know if Jackie took off. I was going to pull a card for her and I think she took off. Jackie, are you hanging around in here? I have Aries for someone. Somebody is a Aries. 6th house could be a Virgo, a Libra. Anybody sitting in the room who wants a card pulled? Jackie, do you want to ask a question or do you just want me to pull and see what we find? You're a Taurus. So I'm feeling south node from you being Taurus, like past life. I'm not saying that you are, but you know how people meet each other, you know, online in places, you know, like past life. I don't know if the material I'm bringing, it could be that, you know, I don't know if you believe in past lives, but maybe there's somebody in here you're a past life connection with. I got south node again. But maybe there's questions you're asking about your south node, which is past life. Maybe there's something that you're ending that is a karmic relationship or something like that. Now, Jackie, I got collaborating for you, Aquarius energy. So when the sun is in Aquarius, you're going to be collaborating on a plan. That could be you and John. That could be. I'm seeing a palace right now, like a castle. And his house, the Libra house, is showing up. So I think you're going to be collaborating with him possibly during Aquarius season. So somebody's ascendant has something to do with, so knowing your ascendant. So Jackie, have you had your chart drawn? Maybe you don't know your ascendant. You pulled no questions. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to pull then. Let's see what we get. I've always felt I had a wild past life. You might have, yeah, in reference to your love life, maybe especially, I saw 7 of cups. So you might have had like lots of different potentials, like in your love life. And Jackie, we're getting 8 of swords. John could be stuck in his head right now, where you're concerned, and also the position in which he's changing, where he is. He is alone. He's in hermit energy. He isn't around others now. I think that he is withdrawn. The Wheel of Fortune. He's waiting for a brand new start. Then you have the Sun and the 6 of Swords. So that is happy beginning and going a new direction. A new way. 6 of Swords, isn't that one you get with him, like with me anyway, right? 2 of Pentacles, he is dangling between worlds still. But he is alone with the Hermit energy. And then we have the 4 of Wands. So I think he's thinking of that, the home, the twin situation, and all that being connected, united, and union. I've been with my ex-wife since high school. So you two might have shared your past life together. I kept seeing South Node. So you and your ex-wife, there is a connection maybe that is, it's past life. Like you're consistently drawn to each other. I've been dreaming dreams of him every night. Well, if he's in hermit energy, he might be lighting a candle and meditating, and maybe he's doing the same thing. Your current wife, too. So the two of them, you have a connection from the past life with both. Well, you had 7 of Cups, so I'm just saying you might have had a lot of choices in your last life. So if you felt that, you're probably right. I'm just saying. That's only from looking at the little bit that I pulled for you. So yeah, there is a traditional situation, Jackie, that John does think of when he thinks of you with the Hierophant. And by the way, the Hierophant also could be speaking to you, soup or baked, because you are a Taurus. And I see some drama around something in your life. I don't know if it's just the South Node kind of stuff that you're thinking and we're talking on. But yeah, you have a little drama with the 5-8 of Wands that I have here. Then I have Pisces. Jackie, I think this is preluding to the Aquarius timing for John. I think he's going to be highly sensitive around that time. Just after, well, actually not prelude, it's afterwards, not preluding. It's afterwards. Interesting. I think he's going to be very sensitive after you two make contact. Be it only in text or phone, but he's going to be very sensitive, whatever it is that happens. Yeah, changes are coming. That is good. Congratulations. That is a good solid number. Congratulations. And you're getting the 11th house, Jackie. That is networking, working together. And the number 17 popped out. So I think for you, soup or baked, solar flares is what we have. Number 17, solar flares activate. So the activities that are going on right now are activating something in your past life or something in your DNA, your codon, some kind of a gift, ability, or memory is going to be triggered by some of these solar activities that we have going on right now, the bursts that you've been studying up on. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Jackie. Yeah, and Jackie, mind you, I'm going to try and start showing up at the other channels, and this one more so. I was at Lucky Girl, and Cosmic Sage, I'm waiting to show up until I can clear some more energy. I kind of jumped on that a little too fast when I said I was going to be there. But the 3D readings I can handle. I need to try and get, what is it, 41? I think 41 subscribers to at the other channel at the 9th. I want to say 9th Gate. I was going to name it 9th Gate, if you know the film, but it's so dark, and it's like I'm all about the occult and all this other stuff, right? But I didn't want to do that. I was like, I'm not going to do that to all the Sagittarius, because that's like putting a spin on, say, dark magic and things like that, and that's not what I wanted it to be about. So I called it The Door. And so it's the Sagittarius doorway. We have a special door, and that's the doorway for Sagittarius. Does your wife like to wear her hair in a ponytail or up in her head somehow and sip tea or something like that? Or Jackie, that could be you, while watching like movies in the dark. I love the film, the Ninth Gate. I don't know if you've seen it. I love that film. That kept popping up when I looked for the ninth door. The Ninth Gate. Yeah. Let me see if I can type it in here. Where did everybody go, Jackie? You mean from the Cosmic? The one that was Tinker? Yeah, she does. Movie night with a coffee. So I saw her in a card I pulled. And so she enjoys just sitting in the dark. And I think she might like scary movies, or she gets really engrossed in what she watches in the dark on television or something like that. I haven't hardly seen anyone you read for anymore. Okay, that's because I quit using the Tinkerbee channel and I named it Cosmic Sage. And that is my spiritual channel so that I can give spiritual wisdom and warrior wisdom on the spiritual side there. And then I made the Lucky Girl Tarot its own entity. So it's doing what Tinker used to do, but there's far less people that go there. And I want to grow it again, but I think because everybody's still at Cosmic Sage, it might take a little while. But yeah, so I've kind of splintered things around a little bit. We love a dark room and some blankets. Haha. It sounds very cozy, though. So most of them haven't followed. I don't know how many of them are real. I kind of wondered if a lot of them are AI, because YouTube is known to have filler kind of entities on the platform. So I don't even know what's real and what isn't. That person that I asked to read for me before on, he would have maybe put fillers on my channel if he followed me and done that just to cause me trouble. So I don't know. They could be real. If they are real, they're waiting for me to return. And when they see me return, they'll probably plant questions on me that are about love and money and everything else, which I can't answer there. But I'm going to redirect them to Lucky Girl, because Lucky Girl is doing everything that is 3D based. Does that make sense? You sub to the other page. Oh, thank you, Super Big. That's good. I appreciate that. I hope I can be of help to you too. I answer questions over at the one that is based on just life questions, general reading, what's coming at you, what's hidden, things like that, like finances, love life, it just general things, right? Changes, new job, hire, things like this. People always ask, are they going to get a new job? Things like that. And then I got Ace of Pentacles when I said that. So I don't know. Jackie certainly is looking at something like that happening for her. You could too, which means that Ace of Pentacles is like an offer coming in for you that would be liquidity or offer some kind of stability. And Jackie, I will be going back to Cosmic Sage. I am sorry. It's been so long. I planned on clearing it, getting the energizing, the freshness of the energy. And I was going to come back. And initially I was told, when I listened to my guidance, wait till the new year. But I wanted to come back sooner. Excuse me, because things were happening. Because we're dealing so much with, the things we're dealing with. But until I had the energy attacks I had, I was fully going at it, full throttle. I was like, okay, I'm all in. I'm going for it, right? I'm gonna read. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna surprise everybody. But then, boom! I started getting the energy attacks. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna pull their energy through what I'm going through. It might affect the read. So I pulled back my energy, and that's why I'm here. I'm just kind of testing the waters by going to these channels. And I did a lengthy talk on this channel the other day, which was a little exploitive, but I had to share some information. Things are happening that are kind of wild, so I just wanted to get things out. Three of Pentacles. Super baked. Your advice? Talk to somebody, and the two of you can collaborate a plan. They can show you, say, places ideas that they may have of places you can get a better job situation. I have the Three of Pentacles for you right here. Somebody's pointing to a map and they're circling things on the map and they're showing you ideal places that would benefit you. And it's all about the money. It's like increasing your flow of money, your ability to earn more. And they're saying it'll take a little time. Temperance come out. The angels got your back though. They say that the key to you making more is loving what you do. We got the Ace of Cups there, loving what you do. So being enamored with your work, with the precision of your skills, the abilities to render a good product or whatever it is you do to achieve. Knight of Cups, let me see. The Moon. Yeah, I got Ace of Cups again. I kind of feel that it's something that, so if there's something that you are skilled at that you really love doing, the place that you go to that is offered to you or suggested, you might really feel a newfound love for that skill you have where you would go to. I just want to take this moment out to say thank you to those of you who thumbed up, shared, subscribed. I really appreciate you all. And so much thank you also. It's been a privilege to get to know you and talk to you, Soup or Baked. I don't get to talk to people that often here anymore. And Jackie, it is always a pleasure. You are so refreshing to have in any of our chats. So thank you so much for being here. I know your time is so limited and you're pulled in many ways, and I appreciate you being and sharing, being part of our groups. I'm looking into only jobs I enjoy, mostly working around cars, just holding off for the right pay. You hit it on point. I'm glad to have helped. It was the same constant people on Tinker, and I've only seen maybe 3 of them. Well, Danny Baby made an appearance. You remember Danny from Barbados? She made an appearance on Lucky Girl. So if you go to the replay, you might see her. She was on Lucky Girl. And I'm going to try to get to Cosmic Sage, say this week. I might even do it before my mother's going to show up because I'm supposed to have her over here. So before the weekend's over, I might try to do that on tomorrow's Sunday. It would maybe have to be Monday. I don't know. It'd have to be early in the week. So I might get Cosmic Sage going, and that means we might have people pop in. If you're able to get there, you might see some faces you know. And the other thing is that I did send people, I did do videos, letting them know about the other channel, but seeing is believing. So maybe some people aren't holding their breath that I'm not done with Tinkerbee the way that it was previously. But the times as they are, I felt I needed to separate it. That I did used to have a lot of people who would ask about their spiritual, they would inquire about their guidance and things like that and their abilities coming on. Things like, important things like that, their ancestors talking to them, their dreams. We lost a few people that I think I can't talk to that aren't getting my notifications. And Jackie, I think that America is being restricted from some places. I'm not sure at all, but I've noticed that India is quite lower in reach from the channel here. All the channels, India is coming out less. So I think that some of the places may not be getting our notifications. There's like a breakage of communication, maybe in the YouTube internet between places because of how our government's running. Because all of us that are here talking right now are in America. I don't know who's sitting here listening if we don't know, all the ones listening that are being quiet that are here, but it only shows 3 people. And that is, I think, just all of us, and we're all in the US. And I know that there's like travel bans, and there's like a lot of HATE, going on in our government when it comes to people of different groups. And it's getting harder and harder in this nation for people to live their lives without noticing that this is happening. So I can't imagine they're not trying to, because they've been meddling with everything. Can't imagine they haven't stripped us of some of our communications from outside nations, because they've done everything else. I mean, they've been really playing dirty. Oh, I definitely am. Yes, you're right about that. But previously, I had a ton of people at the channel that's the main one that I started, which Jackie and others met me at. And there are people from India and just lots of different countries. And there was a couple people from the UK. The only person that's like on that side of the pond that really comes around still is Delaney. Have you seen Delaney, Jackie? She shows up, but she hasn't been showing up as much as she used to. Not at Lucky Girl, but she has been showing up. But yes, I am shadow banned. Yes, I am. I was hoping that I had worked that shadow ban off at the other channel. Excuse me. So when I get on it, hopefully, but they say that the well is tainted. Like all the channels that we have, like if say somebody has several channels, they're connected, so they can be also shadow banned. Yeah, spiritual nature of it would make sense too. Because I do speak on some, but the political things that I try not to talk about. Tonight I've been a little bit more about it than I should have been, but I do try to like circle around using different words, different people's names, things like that. I don't really like putting the channel or the people that are with me on the channel in any kind of jeopardy. So I usually try to be tempered with what I say. Tonight I'd probably been a little bit, I'd have to listen to the replay. I need to reel it in somewhat. But yeah, and America is not liked by other nations right now either. So they could pull the plug on us even, and I don't even have any clue if anyone has. It's kind of disconcerting where we are right now. That's one reason I still go on Twitter for world news. It seems to be the only app that is not controlled in that manner. Oh, okay. So you did see her then. Okay. Yeah, I don't use Twitter. I can't even get, you know what? I'm not AI, but I cannot prove I'm not. Those little tests they make you go through, I fail them. I even showed my husband. I said, "Can you do this? Can you get me through this?" He couldn't. There was a short film. If the two of you have not seen it, you might want to look for it. It is funny, but it really questions your own sense of, am I real? And here I've been reading Stepford Wives, right? There's a video that's like 20 minutes long on YouTube. It's a movie, a short movie. And she's a girlfriend to a guy who is pretty nicely financially set. Apparently, she asks a question at work. She has to do something at work, and it makes her check to see if she's real or not. The CAPTCHA thing, to am I a robot or not? She can't pass the test. She goes to her HR guy and he says, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And she says, "Yes." And he starts asking poignant questions, and he says something that kind of sends her for a loop, and it makes her want to go in the bathroom and cry. She starts questioning, am I real? Am I a robot? She's in the bathroom and she calls her boyfriend, and he won't talk to her. He's like, I'm busy working. I can't talk right now. And she's like having to go, digest this information that she may not be real. Anyways, I won't ruin it for anybody. If you want to see it, it's on YouTube. Delaney, we were just talking about you. Oh no. Hey Delaney, how are you? Her ears are ringing. She's like, how dare they gossip about me? You didn't get the notifications. Well, unfortunately, I think YouTube has it out for me in every single channel. I do have cards here if you have a question, since you missed the other stream. If you would like to ask anything, I do have a deck here. It was just, I was talking because, oh, my giddy aunt has been gone from the UK. I haven't seen him for some time. And I'm trying to remember, there's, I think, one other person from the UK that used to come around. And you're the only person that's on that side of the world that, and so I was mentioning that you're still coming around. That's why I brought you up. But yeah, we're talking about the communications there. It just seems to be less solid. Can I get some general information for Delaney, please? Can I just get a general look at what Delaney needs to know? You have Ace of Wands. You have a lot of action coming up. And you have Four of Swords. You're resting soon, rejuvenating, and possibly coming out like a phoenix. Seven of Wands, standing on business. So if somebody is trying to break through boundaries, you're saying, nope, not getting through. So I don't know if you're maintaining the block that you had, or if there's people who are going to test your limits. But Seven of Wands tells me that you're standing on business. And the Emperor, that's your, I think you had Aries in your chart somewhere, didn't you? I know that your person was Aries, the person you no longer talk to. But this is, you're in touch with your masculine energy. So the go-getter, the doing, the action, you're very active coming up, right? And you have the Magician coming out too. So whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest, looks like you're going to have manifestation coming. And your Six of Cups tells me that things that, or people that you once liked that you might deem soulmate kind of material, the people, they might be in your energy soon. It could be holiday related. And you probably are putting away money. Page of Pentacles, maybe. Or you're looking for a way to invest your money, because we have the Two of Swords. Like you're looking at different avenues, how to invest your money, to grow interest or something like this. No Aries in your chart. He's showing up then. That was the Emperor. But you also could be in your authority position with the Seven of Wands. I was going to pop a comment on your earlier live stream, but then seeing you were live in here, I didn't get notification, and it sounds funny and also scary. Sometimes you gotta wonder if you're an NPC or not. Yeah, I know. There's times that I completely get into that inquisitive mind thinking, like, how do we know we all weren't created? It's one of those things that just really makes you pontificate. So the new Aries might be showing up. Okay, you got a Six of Wands. There's a victory with this new Aries, or there's something good coming for you. You're going to get your flowers. Okay, so there's a victory. You'll get flowers. Maybe the Aries will bring you flowers, but something good is in store. I don't know if you're working on a glow up. Six of Wands indicates that something you're proud of that you're working on towards, and or you're deserving of something. And the Six of Pentacles, it's in the energy that you're sharing with this person. So he is coming in your energy. So he has put maybe there is a, how do I say it? There's an impression that there is between you and the Aries, the new Aries. So it's like you put an impression upon him. So maybe there's going to be something that comes out of that. So it's going to feel like a win to you in some way. Super big. I think that it's because most of the time the people that I'm reading for have come to me and our energies, they kind of, our guides talk to each other and they blend with me so I can pull the right energy for them. A lot of times when readers know their people who sit, the querents, the people who sit for them, a lot of times they can get the reads right. But I mean, it's subjective. Free will can also change anything. So, I mean, it's kind of like saying, I was going to take a right that way because I'm using this as a reference. It doesn't have to be right. But say you see like a 7-Eleven to the right at the light. So you're thinking about doing that, but something changes your mind. So then you end up taking a left 2 blocks up. Do you know what I mean? So it's like there could be a change. That's the reason why I have a problem with Minority Report, because it's all subjective to what probability is the outcome. Doesn't mean it will be the outcome. Free will is always at play, and free will is a beautiful thing. We should have that right, to change our minds or to look upon something another way and say maybe the timing's not right, or maybe I want to take a different route around that block, or something like this. Oh, Jackie, thank you. Oh, you warm my heart. Thank you so much. Detours, yes. Life is always handing us detours. And he's showing up again, the Emperor. I think you always seem to have an emphasis on Aries people. Delaney, you will always attract Aries men. You just bar none. It's always going to happen. So you have a commanding presence about you, and it could be the Capricorn, but in the Sagittarius, right? The allure and the steadiness, the diligence about you, the dedication. I think you're always going to attract Aries men, no matter what. They're always going to be into you, Aries men in general. Let me ask another deck and just see if Aries talks. It's interesting to think that Aries wouldn't stop. It was chattering a lot. Let me see. For Delaney, can we find out a little more about this Aries that she's talking about? Or can you just give me some information for Delaney? Can you just give me information for Delaney, please? You got 5 of Wands, a little drama. It seems to be the one deck. I'm not finding it like on command, but Aries is not an energy that you can call it and say, okay, show up for me when I want you to. Aries does not do that. So it could be that the deck I was dealing with is more chatty or less elusive. With the other one is more elusive, I should say, right? So this is a red deck that I was pulling the Aries energy out for you, like over and over. It's red hot, like red Aries, I'm thinking those red hot candies. I don't know, do you have those there? They're cinnamon hot spicy candies. I don't know Celestial for Cast by Carrie. That's familiar, but I don't think I know her. And I'm burping water over here. Sorry. You just follow that page. It's my first time experiencing someone actually getting things right through it. It's like giggling at you, saying new Aries versus old Aries. Yeah, the old one's like old hat. There's an old word, old hat. So he's so passe. Yeah, you need the fresh, vibrant, hot and spicy Aries. I'm getting that. I'm getting the cinnamon, the red hot cinnamons or tamales or those candies that I don't know if you ever had them. They're probably based in America. You might not have had them. They could have something like that in Australia too. Well, we have 40 more to go and we can do a live stream at the other channel. The rain is coming down really hard over here. They always say, Super Big, they always say that when the ground gets marshy from rain, that it slips better, you know, for the earth plates. So where I am here, where the Cascadia runs up here, I do think that the plot is to start slipping some plates. So I do think we're going to hear about more of that. Delaney, you can call me by my name, Rochelle, if you want to. Yeah, a few of you know my name, but you can call me Tinker too if you're comfortable with that. Everyone that knows me from the way back days will know who Tinker is, even if it's not named Tinker anymore. You are an OG. You've been with me a long time. Thank you for being so patient. I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? Being patient through all the ups and downs and the confusion and there's been a lot. Thank you so much for being with me. Yeah, if you'd like to. It's kind of a long one in the name, and it's also so sometimes L. I mean, it's fine if you want to go ELLE. You know, it's easier. Simplicity, right? Yeah, hopefully we will not hear any tragic stories, but I still don't know if there's anything bad that come out of Alaska or Canada. And I've been concerned about Carrie, but she had. Oops, I just dropped my machine. Sorry. She had to travel back from a lengthy trip, so she may just be catching wind. You know, like from traveling, and there was like a lot involved in her. You know, her travel. So hopefully she made it back safe, and hopefully everything is going well where she is, because it was supposed to be cold in Canada, in the area she's from. It says no damage or injuries reported so far from that earthquake. That is really good news, especially since I think they're playing with sonar weapons or something like this. I don't know. But yeah, if something like that Deagle report is a fact that comes to light, that it has to play out for any, I really hope that everyone goes, you know, peacefully, really peacefully. But the stuff they're doing in the streets of America right now are not peace. So I'm hoping this ceases like soon. I wish it had already, but you're folding your wash. Yeah, it's been consistently raining over here. Um, I was gonna take care of the leaves with my guy out back, but we both kind of agreed that we should let it go for a while. But there's like it looks like it's like a real thick pile, but it's getting wetter and wetter out there, and the leaves, it's just I think that they're turning into mulch or something like this because they're getting rain on so much. But I don't want to go through there because it's so wet. And I only have is tennis shoes. I don't really have any boots or anything. I hope so too. I hope you're right about that. Just the solar flares. But they're talking about a Carrington event, so I hope that's only like hyperbole. I'm hoping that there's no truth. There could be another one of those. Um, a lot of people are preparing their listeners. You know, when you listen to podcasts, things like that, they're saying that you need to be prepared to have, like flashlights and candles and, all the works just in case, right? Which is a good idea, but I hope it doesn't come to that for many of us, right? If not, I mean, obviously, if you're used to that kind of lifestyle, but we all should be adjusted in case, right? My internet went out quite a bit. I had trouble with my streams on one of the other channel at Lucky Girl last week. Delaney and Jackie, were you there when that happened? When it knocked me out and then the spinny wheel wouldn't quit and I couldn't get back in? And then I couldn't even start another stream. It locked up and I couldn't even when I tried to do the plus mark to get into the stream again, it wouldn't even let me. So it was a lot of technical trouble. That actually happened right around the time of solar flares, I think. I think the timing was really close to that. And I looked at the outside area and it said that the stream had been going, I think by the time it finally stopped, over 3 hours. And I only actually did the stream when I got knocked out at like less than an hour and a half. The impact that a huge EMP blast would have on our infrastructure would be the population decrease event you were talking about. So what if say that's why they were trying to, okay, this is a thought I've had. I don't like the tactics that they're using at all. I'm going to say that right there. Because the brutality, I'm sure you've heard of it, right? The fascist movement, what they're doing, right? So what if they were, for instance, some of the African Americans that are here went back to Africa, even though they might not have known anybody in Africa. A lot of, I have a lady that I talked to on her channel who went to live in Africa before all this happened. And she was telling her friends who are African American to get to Africa or somewhere where melanated people were at because of the way things are going here. And she'd done this before. And there are a lot of people who couldn't do that, or they didn't have anybody they knew, who didn't have the money, so they're still here. But the point is I'm making is that like a lot of people went and left. Like there were like biracial couples where the husband or one of the people in the coupling were Mexicans. They went back down to the south, down into Mexico before all this got as bad as it did. So what if they're trying to literally put people in their locations that they believe they should be at so that less people will be sacrificed here? So maybe they're not being kind, right? They're not gentle, they're brutes. But what if they are trying to save lives in their way? I mean, I don't want to believe they are because I think that they're being complete whats. But I can't understand for the life of me how all this is happening at the same time if that is the end result, right? To zap out. I mean, I do think our coastline is pretty much going to be toast. I don't know how you feel about that, but I do think that the Pacific, Cascadia and the Ring of Fire, I think could very well be toast. Yeah, that's when you read for me. Did I get my reading for you done, Jackie? I think I did, but I can't remember. And I was backing out and I was going to come right back in, but that isn't something that I ever did. But my other machine that I always use to moderate, it was circling on me already, so I couldn't even type. And they've since given me an upgrade, so I can't do a lot of things I used to do on the machine that I am using for the live stream. So it's necessary to have another machine. It's so weird. YouTube's doing weird things. Yes, I was there. It kept on buffering. I did read for somebody and I had to type it out. And I think it was Mr. Love, if I remember. His name is different with the at thingy, but he used to be Mr. Love. The impact that a huge EMP blast would have on our infrastructure would be the huge population decrease. I have got 4 cards from Naked Truth deck that you pulled. That was crazy. So we did find that it echoed the energy. I like doing that. The other thing is that an error during my days at Temu had ordered too many of the same decks. And because they were inexpensive at the time I was at Temu then, I went ahead and I started to adapting using the second lookalike as a clarifier. So if I saw something echo to me, Jackie, then I was seeing a resonance that, yes, that needs to absolutely be said and heard and observed. So instead of like looking for another clarifier deck or an oracle, when the same card would be, it's like extra emphasis. So say I would see the Ace of Cups twice in the same format with 2 decks, right? Then it would be really highly emphasis that there's like a lot of love, that it's strong. There's no defying it. There's no denying it. Or if I saw 2 magicians show up, then I would know somebody's messing with energy. And it would be emphatic. It would be, there is no denying it. This can't be, you can't escape this truth. There's somebody messing with energy. And say if it's not the querent, then they feel like somebody's messing with their energy. This would speak strongly. I am concerned for Prob. Was she there that night? I am really, really concerned for Prob because I was pulling cards tonight and I got a card that reminded me of her. And it was sad, and I hope she's doing okay. So Prob, if you happen to hear me or show up in this, I'm thinking of you right now, and I hope you're well. And I'm sending you high frequency prayers and wishes that things are going well for you. What are my thoughts on deja vu? I've had at least once a week. Okay. Deja vu is like a glitch in the system, like they said in Matrix. So if you saw the Matrix, you know when the cat shows up and he's the glitch, the cat, the glitch. Deja vu is the name of that cat. It's a reminder, it's a marker, it's the memory trying to snag in the mind. Did you, okay, you're new, so you haven't heard my videos yet over here. I did a video on the staircase, the Jacob's Ladder, um, the film strip. I did a video on the connections I made on how we, okay, did you get to see the movie in 2012 that Robin Williams did called The Final Cut? Thank you, Delaney. I thought she was there. She was here there. Okay. I hope she's doing okay. I saw a sad card that made me think of her. And I know she's been struggling with some things, and I hope that we hear from her. I mean, I don't require that anybody, keep attached to her or anything, but she's always been kind of a mainstay around here. And it's like, I don't want her to be sad. I hope that we're there for her if she needs us, because she's always been there for us. And she's a good person. And I want her to have good times. So I'm hoping that if she needs to reach out, she will. So I'm sending prayers her way. My name is Jacob too. Oh, that's so funny. That's right. Oh, you're funny. So Jacob, how perfect is it that you showed up here at this channel and I was talking about that? Okay, so there's a movie that was in 1981 that was put out called Brainstorm. Jacob, did you ever see an old movie that was from 1990 something called Strange Days? And Delaney, I think it might have been an Australian film, but I can't remember. Strange Days, and it had Ray Fiennes in it, and Angela Bassett was in it. Has anybody seen Strange Days, where they use virtual reality gear on the head to look at pre-recorded video that was created of memories of others, so they could have an experience that's not theirs, it's someone else's? So by fact, it's the virtual reality gear. So in 1981, there was a film that was put out, and the woman who was the star was strangely found DEAD, and she drowned. And there was mystery behind it, never solved. But the thing is that she kind of got herself, I think, into the trouble with DARPA. I'm going to type it. So Jacob, you know what I'm talking about when you see this, right? I'm going to space it out a little bit. That word. You know that word? In one, don't have a blank there, and there's no space there. Anyways, the film was basically showing in 1981, it's called Brainstorm. I'll type that out for you. They were showing the same kind of virtual reality stuff. Wouldn't that electrical memory helmet remove memories though? I don't remember if they wrote that in there, if that would take it, like defragmentize a memory, like a magnet maybe. I don't remember them saying that would happen. So you were asking about glitching and things like that, right? Okay, so our memory is like a strand, like the film strip in a movie projector, which in the old days, that's how or if you go to a movie theater, that's generally the way it is. It's a long strip, the film strip. And so when you lay it out and put it on the cutting room table, the floor, or what did they say it? The cutting room table, when the director makes those cuts, like, I don't want that scene there, or this scene needs to cut here. It went on too long. We don't need the whole thing. It dragged on too long. Or I don't like the way the actress or actor portrayed themselves in that. I want to take them out. And that's how a lot of, say, side actors and actresses that get small parts get cut out, and they say they were thrown out in the cutting room floor. They never had a chance, right? Yeah, much like an operation. Yeah, Delaney, it does make sense. It does. So the point is, though, I would say that if our memory is a film strip, they could take out and put in what they want to. They use MK Ultra to do this, and they do other things, like programming. There's certain ways they can do this, with sound, with color, with nuance, with fragrance, different things. They can remove and they can put in exchange, twist, fax memories, right? But with this VR equipment that they've been putting in these films from the past, and now with Meta, we can experience other people's experiences, things that we never firsthand experienced. The glitch in the system that you're asking about, which is deja vu, is where we start getting a memory, but we don't know where it come from, like a phantom. Like, it's almost like to trigger us. Hey, look a little closer at that detail, because what is that deja vu actually covering? What is the bullseye target it's at? Say you're getting deja vu and it's over a sandy beach, and it's like, why am I getting that sandy beach in my head? So there might have been a memory that was rubbed out of your memory banks at the beach, some beach. But also, people have past life things that fled through too. So it could all also like merge into one thing. They could be doing that to these AI robots. I'm going to be busy watching all these movies as long as you're enjoying them and getting things from them, because there could be things that help you connect dots that you're thinking about. You're asking questions and wanting to learn and absorb things. These might give you different kernels to connect the dots on. You know what I really noticed? You know how you say your name's Jacob, and Jacob's Ladder is a film. I don't know if you've seen it. It is a film that's very intrinsic about being caught between life and death and purgatory. And if you're biblical, verse, that's what you would see it as, right? Um, but how do I say this? Oh, by the way, we're having a New Year's party here on this channel. So if Jacob, you're free, you and your wife want to come in here and party crash, but you might be busy. But I mean, I'm just letting you know. And Delaney, I don't know if you knew, but we're having a New Year's Eve party here. I don't know, your timeline is way ahead of ours, I think. So I don't know if you can make it here or not, but I'm going to try and open it for a long time. So I might open it for hours. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It all depends on YouTube as well. The whole swirling circle thing, I don't know how anybody feels about that, but it depends on that. I might have to do a second stream if I can get in again. I'm extremely fascinated by any conspiracy theory or lost history like this. Have you heard of the mud floods? I've been trying to bone up on the material they offer out here on those. I believe there's some very, very interesting things you can't dispute that they have brought out. So the mud floods are very compelling. It's 9 p.m. Sunday here in Australia. You're at 9 p.m. right now? Oh, Delaney, wow, I'm at 2:30 a.m. We're way apart right now on time. I'm the same way, super baked. I'm a home person, mostly. And people would say that I'm boring, I'm sure. I like to read up on things and get to know information, things like that too. So you might actually like some of the channel that you're on. You might like some of the videos I've had previous that I've spoken on. I did the reading on Elon, Elonia, the one who 531. We're all night owls over here in the US, aren't we? I did the Scrabble. I really dived deep because I was still doing the deep dives when I was doing my readings. Before things got real dramatic here in America, I was doing that. I'm going to try and get back to that. I haven't, because of my own space, and black screen is something I do, which I wasn't completely doing, but it's because I just don't have the setup. Well, I don't have time to get everything situated. So this is how I am sometimes, but I've been that way more than not as of the time we've had martial law hit the streets, right? Um, but the Scrabble pieces gave me the entire Terminator, and I started getting reading, um, pendulum and cards and channeling and dreams on Elonia, which is the one that created, or not created, okay, he's not behind, but he is the name behind Tesla. Okay, that person. Can't really say the names because the way that things are. But anyways, I started seeing him in my mind's eye being the Terminator, being an actual AI person walking around looking like a human. And not long after, a video came out where he's tweaking as he's walking through like a plant or a warehouse, and he looked like the actual Terminator robot. So then, just yesterday, one of the channels I go to, she's a reader. She said that he's been gone, passed away, and I can't remember when she said he passed away. I asked her. She told me, and I asked her, does that mean that you think that he was replaced by a clone or an AI bot? And she said, I think she said the AI bot, just like I said the Terminator. So that is so weird. So we did know his original real person, but he did he transitioned